The At Home Show.
All right, so in honor of Father's Day, we have some of the best dad jokes of all time. This is mainly for Josh and David, because it's Josh especially, because his jokes are so bad. They're very, very bad. This is in honor of you, Josh.
Thank you, sir.
Which bear is the most condescending?
I don't know, Michael.
A panda.
Okay.
Like duh.
Uh-huh.
What kind of noise does a witch's vehicle make?
I don't know, Michael.
Brum, brum.
Uh-huh.
What's brown and sticky?
That's a dangerous way to go.
A stick.
A stick. Okay. Guck.
Okay.
Two guys walked into a bar.
Uh-huh.
The third guy ducked.
Who had the chicken on his shoulder?
I don't know.
Okay.
How do you get a country girl's attention?
I don't know, Michael.
A tractor.
Aha.
What do you call a pudgy psychic?
I don't know.
A fortune teller. Fortune. A fortune.
Fortune.
A fortune teller.
Fortune. Okay.
And finally, what did the police officer say to his belly button?
I have no idea.
You're under a vest. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. Guck.
Live from the Green Room Studios, from the spacious property of Bates Nursery and Garden Center, 3810 Whites Creek Pike, it's the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates.
Thank you, kids. Okay, calm down. Dagnabbit, I'm going to turn this car around if you don't get that. Yeah, okay. All right, now we're back in order. Dagnabbit. Saturday morning means it's time for the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates.
I did yell at a kid because they had their dog on my yard.
Okay. Get off my lawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started cleaning up the poop.
Hey, it's your Saturday morning tradition. It's been coming to you from the Green Room Studios for nearly 18 months now. We're coming up on that kind of an anniversary. We have been, David and I have been broadcasting this for 27 Father's Days now? Perhaps.
That would be correct.
Okay.
I think that would be.
I believe even in the beginning days of the formative years, David was already a father. I think my big girl was born in 90. Yeah, she was born in 95. So yeah, we were good. But so we're here for you, folks. It is a tradition. You can call us 615-499-6690. That'll go to the bat phone.
Yep.
Michael will review it.
Yep.
If you want to interact alive, he'll call you back.
Yep.
You can send us messages on Instagram. You can send them on Facebook. You can send them, you can send them anywhere. But we're here for you. Good morning, David Bates, by the way.
Good morning, Josh Cary. How are you this morning? And happy Father's Day to you.
You too. And we have a cast of thousands inside the Green Room Studio this morning again. So that's great. It's fun. We've a lot of pretty flowers in here again.
And we are seeing the benefits of Joy's handiwork, and she's mighty handy.
She's warming your seat, David.
And doing a very capable job of it. We're really glad to have her on board today. Once again.
She has jokes too.
No, I don't. She does.
Yeah,
She has great ones.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
So, hey, let's do a little check of the weather here to kind of get everybody's head wrapped around about what's in store for us. And today, of course, is Saturday, June the 19th. The month is flying on by. We're going to have, you could call it mostly cloudy. You could call it partly sunny. I'm not sure which is the more correct of the terms. However, there will be increasing clouds as we go through the day. Really no chance of rain today. And it's going to be seasonably warmer. A high of about 88 degrees today, maybe a little warmer. It's always in between 88 and 91. It's all kind of the same. Tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to continue with the some sun and some clouds theme. 91 degrees for the high temperature. And again, really nice conditions. As we go into Monday, we are going to see some of the effects of a tropical storm, Claudette. We're not going to get a direct hit from the remains of that. However, we will certainly see that there are going to be rain coming Monday, perhaps an inch, maybe a bit more, 89 for the high degrees. And we're going to have a bit of a cool down after that. Always welcome this time of year, 78 degrees with that front moving through. So it's going to have a couple of day reprieve before it begins to warm back up again later in the week. Maybe some more rain as we move into Friday. Currently, it's about 70 degrees here in the Music City.
And folks, Facebook is acting a little weird for me this morning, so we're going to be monitoring your things, and we'll be looking at different feeds and stuff that goes along with us. But it is a glorious morning to be alive and in the state of Tennessee, and it's just great. Tomorrow's Father's Day. All kinds of neat stuff going to happen around the...
What are you going to do for Father's Day?
I don't know yet. I haven't been told.
I'm sleeping.
You're sleeping?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's my plan. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do, but that's my plan.
Little man going to be in there 4:30. He wants to... It's Daddy's Day. It's going to be all about you and him.
What makes you think he'll be in there at 4:30? I can't get the kid out of the bed.
It's going to be Father's Day, man. He knows. Mama's been prepping him.
Oh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't get out of bed either.
You guys make any special requests for Father's Day? I mean, are there things that you go, oh, yes, this is what I want for Father's Day, or you just kind of wing it, let it go the way it goes?
If I'm being completely honest, I forgot it was Father's Day coming up.
Let's go with only about 30% honesty, Michael.
Okay, well, I forgot it was Father's Day, so I didn't even send my dad a card.
Uh-oh.
I got to call him and be like, hey, here's a video call from your grandson.
The good thing about
that's all he doesn't care about hearing from you. He wants to hear it from the little guy, man.
Yeah.
You know that, don't you? So
the good thing about Father's Day is that it's okay if you forget a little thing for Dad, but do not forget Mom.
Nope.
Not forget Mom. Really important. 615-499-6690. You can pick up the phone, give us a call, leave us a voicemail. If you like, of course, too, we could actually call you back. You can also send us a text message at that, and we'll discuss whatever it is that's on your mind. You can also message us through Messenger on our Facebook page, The At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates Facebook page. And, of course, if you're viewing us right now, you either are viewing us on Facebook or you're viewing us on YouTube, Twitter, might be LinkedIn, and of course our YouTube channel. Any of those places that you are watching us, please take a moment and subscribe, hit the like button, ring a bell, and do a cartwheel.
Yes.
Because that's probably the next thing we'll be asked to do in order to support our favorite social streams. So and if you're not catching this live, well, we actually come on at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings.
Central Standard Time.
Which is...
Or daylight savings time.
Or 9 Eastern.
9 Eastern. 7:30, 6:30 Central.
In addition to being Father's Day, we also are having a multiple Incidents Day. It is the beginning. It is summer solstice starting tomorrow.
Oh,
so we officially move into summer. Spring lined up today. So there's that. Here at Bates Nursery, tomorrow will be our last Sunday to be open. So invite you to come on out and see us tomorrow. One final Sunday until fall, and you really should take a few moments to go down and talk to Joy and see what's happening down in the perennial area, because if you look around the studio this morning, we are loaded with flowering things.
Stuff.
This is the perennial time of year. This is the time of year where Joy really gets to show her many capabilities and abilities, specifically with regard to perennials. That's her area of domain at the nursery, and you brought quite a selection in this morning. Joy, thanks for being on the show today. Again, 2 weeks in a row.
You're welcome. I now know what I'm in for.
Got a joke for us this morning, Joy? No. Okay.
That was the joke.
You did have two good ones.
You did. I loved them.
Like off air, you had a couple. That one about the bears was pretty good.
What do you call a bear with no teeth?
Well, I don't know, Joy. What do you call it?
A gummy bear.
Ta-da! Yeah.
Thank you. Guy yesterday who told me that joke. That Bates.
You enjoy having that interaction where people come in there and just volunteer these jokes to you while you're working.
Yeah. No, you really get to know every
Jordan's a
personality.
sounding board.
What's that,
Joy's a
David?
sounding board for jokes. So bring jokes in for Joy and
Yeah,
bestow
please.
them on her. And
Jokes for joy.
Appropriate ones. Thank you.
yes, appropriate, of course. We don't want anything tacky. We're going to talk about perennials this morning, Joy. Hey, give us a little.
She ain't joking about that though.
What have you got out there in front of you? You got a lot of gorgeous things, I see.
Yes, all the coneflower is starting to bloom in the perennial section. We've got daylilies are starting to show off, which I'm excited about because we've been carrying them for a long time. And no one, specifically daylilies, no one remembers about daylilies until they start blooming, and then they go home. They find good homes. Salvia is blooming, tick seed, coreopsis. Those are looking really good right now. We did receive from one of our vendors a pollinator package, and so all of the pots show. I think you can see it. It's where the coneflower is. Zoom in on this, the pot. Yeah, so you know that those are good for pollinators, which is great. I don't always love marketing, but I do appreciate when they're trying to lead people in the right direction when it comes to pollinators or natives or that kind of thing. I find it really helpful. Because we can't help everyone. We try to help everybody, but that's just one way to kind of let the customer know what that plant is for.
Right. And it's easy to lose track of what things are good for what they attract, what specific, if it's butterflies or bees or could be hummingbirds. There's a whole lot of things that of wildlife that gets attracted. And of course, flowers are a prime target by all those winged fauna, I should say.
Ooh, that one, that in that picture right there, the kind of burgundy, that's cherry brandy, and that's a type of Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan. That really stands out when it blooms. It's beautiful.
So any kind of color that you're looking for, Joy has it over in the perennial section. So make sure you come out and check all that out. And of course, these are all things that are representative of sun perennials, and that's really kind of where the focus is more this time of year because the flowers are what are showing their stuff. But
speaking of showing yours, Tyler, this one that I have my hand on, can you come in tight on it? Look at this beautiful bloom. I mean, that is just absolutely stunning. It's probably 6.5, 7 inches across right now. Just absolutely stunning.
That's the last one because they all started blooming.
Oh my goodness.
So when you bloom, they go out the door. That's the way that works.
Yep.
So anyway, make sure you come in and see us and go over to Joy's section and see all the extensive selection of flowering beauty she's got on hand. And you also have, of course, still have a great selection of shade perennials. So for those who have shade gardening, you don't have the selection of immense color from flowers, but you do get a lot of great color and texture changes from foliage that the shade perennials bring you.
Well, it's all about the flowers, though. I mean, that's what that's at a lot of times. I mean, now, too bad Mother's Day falls on a month that you don't get all of this show. Now, Father's Day, you can take your dad to coneflowers. He's probably going to want that, somebody to plant it for him. That would be a really good thing to do for Dad. If you're going to buy him a plant or give him something, actually put it in the ground. Here, Dad. Don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the good thing about if you do that for Dad, he might not be all that fired up about a Rudbeckia or a daylily or whatever. It might not be where his head is, as far as what his mindset is. However, if it adds to, and you can give it to him under the guise of giving it to yourself, if you like, or if it's just something you think that needs to be added.
But ask Mom first before you pick out something. Now, would that be a good advice, David? I mean, just
that's as a general rule. That's always a good direction to go.
Well, Dad, a yucca. I mean, a gorgeous plant, but I don't know if a lot of ladies really care for yucca. Do you guys sell a bunch to the ladies?
Oh, I have a few and I love them.
They're gorgeous when they bloom. And
they're a great low maintenance plant. You know, as long as you've got sunshine, you don't really have to do a whole lot. And they do add a lot of interest and color to the landscape. They are variegated yuccas, and of course, they are all flower at one time or another. So
if you've never been to the desert and seen them in just an entire mountainside full of them, they're just gorgeous.
I would say we're selling more because of all the people moving here from the West.
Oh, okay.
Because they're familiar with it and they like that look in their garden. So, and with grasses and that kind of thing.
Well, and they mix them in with I think rock gardening, the rock gardens for landscaping, and some of the, out west, particularly in California, our friend Cary Pollard was telling us one time that, with the water restrictions that they run into, which we really don't have here, that the desert and drought tolerant plants are going to be really, really popular. Do we run into problems with those desert plants having fungal issues or root rot?
Yes, if they're on irrigation, for sure.
Okay. Because
pretty much, if you live out west, if you don't have irrigation, you're
is that west of 65, David, or west of 24, or?
I'm talking much further west, like west of the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, okay.
That kind of west.
Okay.
So, water shortages are a major issue in the west, and we have been. Here in the Southeast, we've been very fortunate. We're not experiencing those kinds of things. So consequently, we have a very, very wide palette of plants to choose from. And that's really one of the things that's from a landscape interest. We probably have as many different things to choose from as any other part of the country. Now, we can't quite use tropicals year round, but they can be used effectively as a seasonal annual. We get the most of both the northern climates, be it conifers or deciduous plants, and we also get most all of the southern broadleaf type plants. So whatever kind of landscape look you're desiring, we pretty much can achieve that here in Middle Tennessee.
What about pinon, David? Pinon trees? What? Pinon, 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 produces a little nut.
To my knowledge, that one cannot be used here.
Because we're not high enough, or because it's just the wrong climate. Would you think?
It's probably just too wet here, is what would be my guess. There's a lot of trees that are that are part of the Southwest. And that kind of high desert climate that really cannot handle the amount of rainfall we get. They've got to dry more. And I'm not certain about that, but that could be one of the issues involving that.
615-499-6690 if you want to chime in and tell a dad joke. That would be a good thing.
Yeah.
All kinds of great dad jokes are always welcome.
Speaking of trees, we do have a question on our Instagram page from Chelsea Eastock. What's the best
By the way,
way?
there's Cary.
Hi, good morning. Hello, everyone.
The Cary cam, yeah.
The Cary cam. Here we are. What is the best way to go about treating and advice to treat mature trees that aren't doing too well? It's a good one.
I think you need to figure out what's wrong with it first. And is it a pest? Why is it declining? Because you need to understand what's going on before you can treat anything. So that's where I would start.
One of the things that can happen that's really problematic, if it's something that has been planted, say, fairly recently, is that some people make the mistake of planting a tree too deep. Now, it's perfectly okay to have, and it's a really good thing to have the soil prepared properly that it will grow out into. But if you plant it too deep, that is where the soil gets piled up around the trunk, it might not kill it, but it can begin to develop a lot of issues. You can get fungal problems around there. If the bark happens to rot off all the way around, the tree can actually die. So one of the first things I would check is to make sure that soil is not piled up around the trunk. That can also occur from people over mulching.
Now, you mean 12 inches all the way around the tree is too much, David?
It's just, yes, it's only about 9 inches too much.
Okay.
I believe you mean it's too mulch.
Got
Had to do it. Had to give it to him.
There you go. But and that's very common. You still see that. I mean, folks will just got to get a nice round. You get a perfect circle around the tree. But yeah, I guess they're worried about it blowing out into the yard. I mean, are there size restrictions that you have to use this much mulch around this tree, and it has to be 12 inches deep?
There are no plants or trees or anything that require being mulched, particularly in a pyramidal fashion. And you don't, most of the time, you do see some signs of that on occasion. Mm-hmm. That's pretty rare anymore. I think most people have gotten the memo to not do that. Okay. However, there may be some landscape contractors who are getting paid by the cubic yard to install, and so they may have the temptation.
They charge like sheetrock. I mean, okay. Order 15 sheets, we'll cut it up. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I would imagine that planting your annuals and your color inside that 12 inches of mulch is not a real good idea either, is it?
Well, as Joy can well tell you, you've got to have actual soil for those to grow in.
Really?
And if you just stick it in mulch, they're not going to have anything to draw nutrition from.
Correct,
Joy?
Yeah, and they're going to dry out really quickly if they're just in mulch, especially like pine fines or something like that.
Well, they take the sprayer hose and they put it on that mist setting so you can cool the flowers down, right at nighttime. Yeah, that's what
we talked about that last week.
Oh, I know, but I've paid attention. But I mean, we don't want to do that, do we? I mean, any of these things, you want to water at the base, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, plants do not need the foliage and flowers. Do not require water.
But they look hot, David.
Well, I mean, turn it around and spread on yourself if you're wanting to get some personal relief. But the plants need it at the soil level. And speaking of soil, let's talk for just a moment about Earth Mix Garden products.
Okay.
And we're a very proud seller of those products, whether you're planting trees or shrubs, or if you're planting a flower bed, perennials, for instance. Earth Mix Landscape is or you might consider Earth Mix Garden. There are a lot of great things you can do to improve your soil. And if you're a serious gardener, and you are, if you want to get the very best results out of the plants that you plant, you're going to want to use Earth Mix Garden products. 100% organic, sustainably produced, and it's done so right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So invite you to check out all the great sellers of Earth Mix Garden products. Go to earthmix.net and click on the Find Earth Mix tab. And once you're there, you can scroll down the page and you'll see all the little pins all around Middle Tennessee, Kentucky, even up into Indiana and Ohio, and more locations coming soon. Check all that out at earthmix.net. And remember this, success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix Garden products, and you will see a decided difference in results. We're really seeing a lot of great photographs that many people who are using Earth Mix in their raised gardens. And
my garden is insane.
Really producing a lot.
Takes after its dad.
Yeah, that Earth Mix is awesome because it's just crazy. It's just all tangled up, and I'm just like, I'll just get what I can get.
What is the normal height for a dill? In the herb dill, what do they? You normally
I've seen it like 36 inches before.
They can get pretty tall.
Yeah.
Even a little taller.
My two that we grow in the above ground garden using Earth Mix products, I was about 63 inches tall when I finally took them down.
Wow, that's high height.
You've got enough dill to last you for a week or two, don't you?
I'm sharing with the world. Okay,
Actually, I think you put a picture of that out on the our Facebook page, the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates Facebook page. A picture of your dill harvest, and I don't think you made it clear what that herb was that was on there.
So I felt like I needed a rock cart and an old Morrison's tray to try to get some of the sorting done, but I worked it out. But no kidding, that was the last harvest. And again, it's up there. It's right below where the live feed is. easy to do. I mean, I tried, and you guys got some, and you guys got some of the deal. I found that in the process of trying to vacuum seal it when it is not dehydrated, probably not a real good idea for long term. Okay, it did not do real well. But I just hung it up upside down like a tobacco plant and let it drain down, and then took it down and dried it out. It's absolutely amazing. And I probably got, if you were to go to the grocery store, and this was, as I said, the final harvest, because I shared with the neighbors, I shared with the friends. I've probably got $35 worth of dill if you were to buy it at the grocery store.
Wow.
And the little starts that we got here were a couple of bucks. I mean, it's amazing. So, and if you like dill, you gotta like dill.
Hear Joy jump in here and talk about growing herbs in containers. Yeah, I mean, obviously you can grow them in the ground, but not everyone has a big enough spot. But probably one of the best ways that you can produce your own, and if you, as Josh just mentioned, if you see what those herbs cost in the market, you can grow them organically yourself and really have a tremendous year-round supply just from growing it in containers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can do pretty much all the herbs. I've had chives in a container for like 4 years now. So we've got perennial herbs and annual herbs. Basil is super easy in containers. Be prepared to water towards the end of the season. Fennel, tarragon. Tarragon can do well here. Just make sure you don't overwater it in a container.
Now, I'm curious, what is tarragon used for? Is it widely used in cooking? I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Well, not everybody likes the flavor.
Right. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, I like it. It's good with chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's used. It's kind of like in a Provence blend. There's tarragon in that.
Oh yeah, baby. I mean, it would look good. Some good EVOO and some crusty bread, and just dipping. It's just amazing. But yeah, tarragon's not for everybody. But
I love it.
I do too. So, but we use a lot of dill because dill on fish is delicious, and I'm not having very good luck at all with basil this year, though.
It was so cool for so long.
Okay.
I think that because I had a couple that kind of declined on me, but it was just because we were just waiting for it to warm up.
Right. Now the snails seem to like it a lot too. I don't know if that's a part of the problem, but but I've seen the signs that it's perking back up and it's going to come back. But basil, to price it at the grocery store fresh.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we still have a reasonable selection of herbs available for people to plant right now?
We're pretty low. We've got a lot of mint. And that's great because that's a perennial that'll keep coming back for you. So, and you can you want to put that in a container.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
On the ground.
Ding,
That is
ding,
recommended.
ding.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, we've got chives.
Invasive. It can be quite invasive
Yes.
if it left unchecked. So.
Well, our
smells
chives
like
come back
water.
every year, and we don't harvest them, but the blooms on them are just absolutely stunning. I love them.
They stay a while.
Yep, they sure do.
Which blows me away.
We have a phone call.
We have a phone call.
Oh.
Here we go. Hold on. It didn't connect, even though I connected it already. There we go. Let's try it again. Try it again. One time. Here we go.
Good morning, guys. This is Dean Blanks, and I'm calling about these lumber prices that I've been reading about online. I noticed that they had finally started to fall, and I was just curious about your knowledge on why they went up so high, why the lumber prices went up so high there when the pandemic was winding down, and why you think they're dropping back to more normal levels now, and what it looks like for the consumer as they might be considering building stuff in the next few years. What do you think it's going to do in terms of price and volatility with that? So I guess that's more of a question for Josh, but yeah, just curious about your thoughts on that one. You guys have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you for the call, Dean.
Yes, I'm interested in that answer as well.
As a consumer of
buy some lumber here soon, Josh.
Good, David.
Plywood is still insane.
We'll bring you some, boss.
Well,
There has been some easing of the market, but it's traded as a commodity like orange juice and pork bellies. I mean, if I had the all-knowing, all-seeing crystal ball, I would guess is that it would come back, and it has already started to ease off. But where we were this time last year versus where we are today, and even with the easing, the product in a home or in any kind of a project that you're going to see is it's going to stay up. I mean, again, and lead times are going to get are going to go out. You're going to have supply issues. If we start burning out west, it's not a good thing. Then it's going to burn out west. We had an extremely cold and wet southeast market. Canada's still closed for all intents and purposes. In a lot of ways, they're starting to open back up. But supply and demand is probably the primary reason that the market went up as high as it has been, because if you notice anywhere in Middle Tennessee, David, we used to talk about the state tree being a crane downtown. Now I would think that the state tree would probably be a porta potty and a dumpster out in front of a job site. Wouldn't you say we're moved a little bit closer to that point?
Well, we have moved. We're still quite a lot of skyscraper construction. There's far more residential construction. One of the things you indicated to me, and you referenced the Canada is still shut down. How about New Zealand? Are they able to export at this point?
Well, I don't specifically know about New Zealand's status with the COVID-19 problem, but they are pretty close to Australia, and Australia is still under some pretty strict rules. I do know that. But David, think about the location of New Zealand, and then think about Whites Creek Pike. If we were going to buy something from New Zealand, it's going to take a little bit of freight and a little bit of boat time to get it here. We've had several vendors with windows that there's some rumors that could go to 24 weeks lead time. That's almost 6 months. Okay. So you want to get your house done, turn it in 90 days? Sorry, folks. Oh. So it really is just a supply and demand issue as much as anything. Trucking has been a problem. Anything that you can blame it on is going to get blamed on, and it's probably at least have some truth to it. So, but David, some people at a lumber yard, so you can probably get whatever you need. That's okay. We'll get you the best price we can.
Well, I mean, you can't do anything about what the raw materials cost, that's for sure. And then those are things that none of us have control over. So we just you have to just at some point decide whether you're willing to
pony it up.
I don't think it's going to be reasonable to expect, not just with lumber, but with most things, that there's going to be a tremendous rollback of prices. I mean, there's nothing that would indicate from a logistic standpoint or supply standpoint of materials in general. There's a lot of demand, and there's just not enough trucks and not enough product to go around.
Fuel is up, labor. I mean,
things wind up costing more, unfortunately.
Well, we've got one vendor. We've talked about it again, and a lot of the window manufacturers are in states that are still a little bit under some restrictions. But if you happen to have a plant in, say, North Dakota, where you have a very small population to start out with, I mean, I think that Williamson and Davidson County alone probably have as many people as there are in the entire state of North Dakota. I haven't looked at that census records, but they don't have a whole lot of people to start with. They do a little thing called fracking up there as well. And if you're willing to pay somebody $1,500 a week to drive a truck with water in the back and forth, it might be not for everybody, but it beats the heck out of maybe cutting stuff up or toting it around in 100-degree temperatures. So I mean, it's a supply and demand with as far as labor as well. So we'll see, David. I mean, I hope you're right about everything rolling back, but I'm not sure. So we'll see.
Well, 615-499-6690. You heard that. Voicemail come through. You could also text that number. You can also message us at our Facebook page. Check all that out. Hey, let's talk for just a moment about, this place where we all are today, Center. And we want to thank you for giving us a moment here to speak to that. Of course, we have been beautifying Nashville since 1932. Yes, my grandmother started this business over on 26th and Charlotte. She was had a concrete block and glass hothouse that they built. They started growing geraniums and on the inside and growing dahlias outdoors, and that's kind of where everything started. So to where we are today here in 2021, we believe that, and I think rightly so, we have a selection of plant material and available expertise that's unrivaled anywhere else, perhaps across the country. We really work hard at bringing the things in that are what you are looking for, whether you're looking for something new and unusual and colorful, or if you're looking for natives to add to your landscape. We have a great selection of all manner of plants, be it trees, ornamental grasses, ground covers, fruiting plants, annuals, perennials, the entire scope of things that you would want to use in your landscape. We have them all. We also are a proud seller of Earth Mix Garden products, and we have those all available by the bag. And most all of them are additionally available in bulk. So if you have your own truck or trailer, you can come out and pick those products up, or you can arrange for delivery. And that's a very cost-saving measure you can do if you're looking to try to get those great products and save yourself a little bit of money on that. Of course, it is Father's Day weekend. And in keeping with that in mind, we want you to, if you're struggling, trying to think of what to get Dad, you might check out the tool selection out on BatesNursery.com. And in case you can't find it, if you subscribe to my weekly newsletter, I'll put a link into it there this week, as along with, if you really can't decide, gift cards come in all sizes. So you can always get a gift card, have that mailed out, or come by and pick it up going straight to BatesNursery.com, where additionally everything we sell is listed out there, and you can either set those up for a curbside pickup or from a delivery, for a delivery right from the comfort of your own home, just at your computer. So check that out at BatesNursery.com. This is our last Sunday that we will be open for the spring season. And as we make the change into summer, we will begin closing on Sunday. So I invite you to come out. We do have a special final week of our 4-inch vegetable plants that those will be donated. What we don't sell this week, and they are 50% off on those. What we don't sell are going to be donated to public gardens here in the Middle Tennessee area. So we're looking forward to hoping to get those into some people's hands who can very much use it. Also, Earth Mix Garden is at 30% off by the bag. So come out and see us. We're conveniently located 1 mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike. It's just minutes from Rivergate, Opry Mills, Nashville West, downtown Nashville. And I promise you, it is worth the drive no matter where you're coming from. And come see great folks like Joy out there. She is a wealth of information. And the great thing about this time of year is things begin to slow down a little bit. So we have a little bit more time that we can give you more in-depth information than perhaps we can during the very peak of spring season. So I invite you to come out, take pictures with your smartphone or your tablet, and bring those along, and that'll help us to get a really good look at what you're trying to get done at your house and help you to get the right plants in the right place the first time, because that's the way we do it at Bates Nursery. So come see us. Again, 9 until 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday, or last Sunday, noon until 4 this Sunday, Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And thank you for giving us a moment to talk about that and what you might be wanting to put in your landscape.
That's right. David, we've got a couple of comments and questions on the Facebook page.
After that, we have a phone call.
MRP MIMS, MRP,
Right.
States that tarragon is a must in a béarnaise sauce. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Now, Bill Hayes, our good friend and a true at-homie, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this justice because I think maybe there might be a typo here. But his question was, what did it hurt to backfill my tomato plants up another 4 inches? I have them in black plastic trays and they dry out too quickly. Can I raise the level of the dirt without hurting? So it's probably saying, would it hurt to raise to add about 4 inches of dirt to his black plastic trays?
With regard
Tomatoes.
to it absolutely will not hurt.
Be a good idea, actually, wouldn't it?
Now, yes, and you can. What you should do, if the stems are not already bare, you should remove whatever bottom growth that is on around the stems, and then fill it up as much as you like. Tomato plants have the ability to shoot out roots all up and down the stem, so perfectly okay to do that with tomato plants. You can't do that with just everything, but with tomatoes, absolutely.
All righty. Our phone call is ready to go, sir.
It is. Here we go.
Hi there. It's getting to be that time that people are taking vacations and trips. I myself have just taken one, and I was wondering if you could suggest some of the most efficient and best ways to water a garden while you're out of town. And I mean, pots are spread out and beds are spread out, and it's a little hard just to have a neighbor come over and water for you when you've got things spread out. I'd like to hear your suggestions. Thanks so much. This is Miriam from Nashville. Bye.
Miriam, what my father-in-law used to do, and he was quite a gardener, is he had a container that he would put up on pallets underneath the carport, and might not have been the greatest thing to do, but he would put 3 or 4 inches of water in that thing and let it start to dehydrate, and then he would put a lot of his potted stuff into that thing and just let it sit. But I would say if you're going to do it and you're going to get the neighbors to do it, try to move them as close together as possible and still have them do it, because there's no excuse to just let it die.
Well, no, there's no excuse to let it die at all. And I kind of like the concept of having a neighbor who's a gardening buddy. That is to say, you need to look at your calendars and say, okay, I'm going to be gone these 2 weeks, and you're going to be gone these other 2 weeks. And while I'm gone, you're going to take care of my plants. And while you're gone, I'm going to take care of your plants. And that way you're both incentivized to do a really good job. And if they do a bad job on taking care of yours,
payback is hell, isn't it, David?
I mean, it's just a setup. What's your thoughts, Joy?
We have a dog, so when we go out of town, we have a dog sitter who stays at our house, and so that becomes like the dog sitter also waters all the plants. And we just pray for rain, because I have a lot of pots, and I don't plant. I mean, I'm planting in our yard all the time, and so they've got to know where the things are that are new. I don't make it easy for the person. But I have in times past have put all of the pots closer together, like you said, to make it easier on them. And then we have a neighbor next door, and they have younger children, and they've come over before and watered. So yeah, you have to get a person, I think, to do it.
Takes a village.
Yeah.
It really does.
Or a member of family, if you're not, if you're good on good terms with them, good plant waters.
And that's a big if. You can't assume. One of the things I think that is most difficult is that people's idea of what constitutes watering varies widely. People, you don't want someone taking care of your plants who's a absolute neophyte. I mean, they may have a good understanding of what a dog's wants and needs are, because there's this, the bowl that the food goes in, and then there's a dish that the water goes in. But plants are not quite so clear cut. Plants, and not every container is the same size. Not all plants have the same water requirements. I mean, if you had all autumn joy sedum, well, you could just take a vacation and not worry about it, because they are almost maintenance free, but there are
You wait till August before when you plant your new green giant arborvitae and some of your other ones too, right? You wait until August to go on vacation for those and all your new stuff that you get. David Bates, you know what? I think we've been missing this whole show, and we have to get to it. I think we need a Cary Gant plant rant, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
Sometimes she just needs to vent a little. It's Plant Rants with Cary Gant.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
How is everyone?
Fine.
Fine. So I've brought a few things on today, and I know, David, you were just talking about tools, things that you can get your dad, what we have up in the garden center. So I brought a very small selection in size and quantity of what we have. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick. So if your dad is into gardening or maybe just yard work or just likes to cut branches on things from time to time as he's walking around the yard, we have some great tools for that. Again, these are the smaller ones in size. We have a lot larger things if he's into big, giant tools. We've got some pruning shears, a folding saw, and then if he needs a little pouch to carry his tools around.
It's better to look good than it is to be good, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
He could even just put it,
Yeah.
that tool in that pouch, go to the market, and they'll be like, he's very into gardening. He's really serious about his yard. But my favorite thing is our Hori knife, which we have, again, up in the garden center. It's good for weeding. It's good for cutting. And it comes with its own holder. I know, Josh, right? It's quite exciting.
Wow.
So here we are. Let's actually take it out and take a look at it.
Be careful. It might be sharp.
Oh, I know how to handle a knife most of the time.
That's not a knife.
That's not a knife at all. Yeah. So it's got a serrated edge, a sharp edge on the other side. Dad's going to be able to do a lot of things with this knife. Probably not in the kitchen, but more outside in the garden. Now, if your dad's more a plant person, maybe wants to add some beauty in his office, living room, front porch, this 25-year-old jade specimen that we have, it would make a great gift. It is unreal. We get this from a grower in Murfreesboro. He comes down about once a week or so. And he has an amazing selection of just jade that he's been raising for decades. So like I said, this would be a great gift if you're looking for something to really wow your dad. Maybe he's not quite fully a plant person and wants to get into plants. If so, you could go with something smaller. Maybe he's into culinary arts, coffee tree, and this cute little planter. Yeah, he can put it in his kitchen. It's going to grow bigger. Austin, who does the at-home show most mornings, he's out of town right now, actually has one, and he harvested 4 coffee beans off his last year.
Stop!
I know. 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So one day when the tree gets big and mature, Dad might get a few.
Cup of coffee.
I don't even know if it's a half.
Those are the ones you're going to roast and then dip in chocolate and eat them as espresso beans. But
That's right.
We need to match those coffee trees with honeyberries, David. I mean, that would be a really good mixed planting there.
Well, if you've got a big enough area to be able to grow a coffee tree, and of course it is a sun plant and it's also a tropical, so you can grow those outside during the winter time. So, but they actually, once they get up to size, if you have enough sunlight, they can produce quite a few berries. So you could actually get enough to be able to process it. I don't think that you're going to be able to ever create like a little enterprise out of it.
No, probably not.
People really, are really big on Middle Tennessee grown coffee. Don't see a whole lot of that happen.
No, we don't. But you could get a couple. It's exciting. And again, they grow fairly quickly. Bring them in the winter. Cool. The plants that you get from us here at Bates Nursery actually have 4 plants within the pot. So you could keep them all together, but you probably eventually you'll want to take them apart. Dad could have 5 coffee trees.
What?
If he's got lower light, maybe he doesn't feel like eating his plant one day. We could go with the parlor palm, Neanthobella. It's a lower light. So if he's got maybe a home office or an office away from home, doesn't get a lot of light, it's a good low maintenance plant. It grows fairly slow. He'll have to repot it. It'll get a little bit larger eventually.
Awesome.
Yeah, stuff for Dad. And then on my right, I just brought some of my favorite perennials. Good pollinators, this blue fortune hyssop, great for bees. Actually, when I was walking here with it this morning, there were bees all over it, and I got scared because I'm pretty allergic. So that was exciting, a good way to wake up. But yeah, perennials, all of these are full sun. Maybe something to add to Dad's garden if he does have a nice, colorful garden bed. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, that was a very well mannered rant.
You know, I kept it
She
contained.
has
I
sharp
kept it
objects, though,
chilled.
David.
I know. We had to stay calm today, so didn't want to get too wild.
Well, thank you very much, Cary.
Anytime.
Hey, Tyler, can we go to input 2, please? I mean,
Yes.
okay, please.
Yes.
Please. Okay.
One more, please.
Please.
Woo!
Yeah.
As tomorrow is Father's Day, this is the reason. If we can get the, there we go.
Aw.
Now, these are my children in one of their less than stellar moments. Now, if you will notice what they are standing upon, David Bates, you've seen this picture before. I don't know that a whole lot of people have. That is the aluminum pond, frozen.
Is that a volcano in the middle?
No, that's where that's the
Looks like Mount Fuji.
That's the floaty that goes in the middle of the
Dave.
okay. 1/08/2010, the pool froze not quite solid, but they decided that it was going to be a nice skating rink. But
Looks scary.
oh yeah, they're really intimidated, aren't they? Okay.
I would have been scared.
Okay, but that is Sunshine and Snowflake, and they are in one of their better moments. And this one as well. These are my babies. So
They're all grown up now, Josh.
yeah, the only thing I want for Father's Day is for them to both come home, but it's not going to happen. I don't.
Maybe
think.
next Mother's Day you'll get your wish.
Yes, I will. I will. But yeah, they come home for Mommy's Day. But that's all good. But hey, thanks for doing that. And they were both of them. Aaron in particular, the clown in the picture there, is very much into house plants, and they both love to garden, and it all starts early. So I mean, if you get them out and get them in digging in the dirt and doing whatever it is, girls like flowers, but one of them really likes juicy worms and digging into it and finding the good stuff that goes around with it. Start your kids off early, Dad. Promise you, it'll pay off for you in the long run. Really, really, really well. So.
Well, gardening is the gift that keeps on giving, and once you get into it and realize all of the many benefits of gardening, and it's not just what grows that's the benefit. You know, gardening has been proven to be very therapeutic. There's all, and the actual, the effects of digging in soil actually has very much of a calming effect on you, and it's not just because you're working and sweating and getting tired. You actually get you have dopamine receptors that pick up on the things that are in the soil, and it really creates a more tranquil mood. So if you're feeling a little stressed, get out and dig in the dirt and get some things going on.
All righty, folks. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun now. Michael, what are you going to do on Father's Day? You said you're going to sleep in? I don't believe it.
Well, yeah, tomorrow afternoon, probably what'll happen is I honestly don't know. I'll probably call my dad, talk to him for a minute.
No? I wish I could.
Probably just be really relaxed.
Really relaxed.
Yeah.
Sounds
okay.
nice.
So, what are you, the ladies in the room, going to be doing for their dads if you have them? And I would think they would. Going to see your daddy is a really good thing.
I will be going to see my father.
Okay.
He'll be coming back from Birmingham, so I'm going to surprise him at his house and make him dinner when he gets home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Joy?
My father lives in Michigan,
Oh.
so but
FaceTime.
I'll give him a call, and he'll be happy to watch this.
Okay.
Talk about him.
Yep. But and David?
Well, I'm my kids are both engaged in other things. We're not going to be able to get together tomorrow, but
The zip code's a little chip different, so yeah.
So we're going to get together this week and do dinner, and
Who pays?
Share stories. Some of them might even be true.
Oh, okay. But who pays for dinner when you go out on Father's Day dinner?
It's Father's Day. So,
Okay. Dad gets to pay for dinner on Father's Day, right? Okay.
That works. That's okay. I'm always grateful to have an opportunity, regardless of what the circumstances.
Take them to
are.
Golden Corral then. That'll teach them.
I think I want to eat as well, so I'm probably aim slightly north.
Are you
of that.
dissing Golden Corral
Very
again?
Golden Corral.
Oh, man.
I'm not all about that.
More like Olden
I'm-
Corral.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
Tyler.
You go after 4. See, you go after 4. They run through the first batch and then everything's good to go. Tyler, how about you? What are you going to do?
My dad is in Alabama, so I'll probably give him a call and give him a virtual hug, just
Aw.
long distance hug.
Okay.
Tyler, do you ever feel tempted to maybe do an a cappella version of Sweet Home Alabama for him? Is it something he would have interest in?
Sweet home Alabama.
Ooh, you did it for us.
With an accent.
I loved it.
Okay.
It's how the people in other countries sing it when you say you're from Alabama, and they're like, "No way, man! Sweet home Alabama, it's great." I went to Greece once, so
And that's in your brain forever. We actually do have one more question on Instagram that I want to
Awesome.
get in before we're done from Jenny Marie Photo Girl 23. She asks, what's the best way to ease your plants back indoors?
Ooh, good
That's a
question.
good question.
Yes.
We actually have a webinar on that on the Bates website. I did one back in the
winterizing your houseplants.
winterizing your houseplants. Then we talked about summarizing your houseplants.
Yep.
So just acclimating them back into your home climate. You're going to go down on watering. I usually will bring mine in, put them near a window, especially if they get a lot of sun, and open that window so they're still getting some of that outside air, but they can get used to your indoor climate.
Yep, and one of the things people need to be mindful of when they're bringing plants back in, because we're several months away from that.
Oh, yeah.
We're just
We
now getting to summer tomorrow, so we're many months away from that. But it's being cognizant of what you bring in with them when you bring them inside. So you may want to give your plants a good spraying and a cleaning so that you don't infect the other plants you already have inside with pests that you're bringing in from the outside. Another thing that people need to be mindful of at this time of year in particular is just the Father's Day weekend. So this is when we typically talk about it, is bagworms and spider mites.
Bagworms, yes.
You need to be
Ooh.
thinking about if you've got conifers in your landscaping, you almost
No, you
certainly
do.
Bagworms and spider mites are the two pests that tend to attack conifers. So be mindful of that and spray for those. They're very easy to control while they are at this juvenile or at a low infestation stage. But if you wait until, particularly in the bagworms, until they mature, they're
Your
much
history.
much more so. You can treat them now. They don't have that big heavy cocoon built up around them yet, and you can control them quite easily with a relatively low powered insecticide. But don't delay. If you've got them, spray them and keep them clean, and that way you will avoid future problems.
Absolutely. Now, David, is there any truth that tomorrow being the summer solstice, tomorrow is going to be the longest day of the year, right?
That will, as far as the longest day length, yes.
Oh, okay. It's because it's not going to be any longer than 24 hours, is it?
It won't be longer than 24 hours. No, there'll just be more of those hours that are illuminated.
So do the days start getting shorter after tomorrow?
Yes. No, they are all still 24 hours. Mike.
Well, I'm talking about daylight. The actual daylight.
Yep, it's downhill.
Oh,
Hello.
What's that?
I don't know. Twinkle,
Where's that
twinkle,
where's
twinkle,
that-
little star.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know. Everybody
it.
panic.
All right.
Twinkle. All righty. But it looks about time to start heading to the house. You can
Well,
take your nap on Father's Day.
Yeah, and a happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there, especially to you, Josh, and you, Michael.
Thank you,
and,
sir.
Thank you.
all others who are tuned in this morning. We really appreciate you being
There's a
here
few
today.
mothers out there, too, that we might want to address as well. But
Absolutely.
Just for
and
safety.
you can't really become a father unless there's a mother involved in the equation. So, that's the way that works.
okay. All righty, folks. Music means that we are getting out of here, but next Saturday morning, we'll be back from the Green Room Studios here at the spacious Bates Nursery and Garden Center facility. You need to come out here and find it. It's 0.9 miles north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike. Everybody's here. Going to be open tomorrow, but not again on Sunday until the fall. So get out here and we'll see you then. And join us. Go out to Facebook. Hey, like the page, share the page, go to YouTube, like it, share it, subscribe, do everything else you can so you can spread the word and become one of the at-homies. We'll see you right here next